John Beverly, the Candyman, the businessman with a conscience, on LICMC.net radio every Saturday at 3 p.m.
Hello, everyone. This is John Beverly, the businessman with a conscience, here at the Alkemalon Village, where each one reach one, each one teach one. One brick, one building, one block at a time. And as we often say, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And we show that we care about the things that we do. And still, we're at the early part of this year as well. So, for those of you that haven't heard from me, Happy New Year. I hope you guys are being safe and trying to stay warm. Today, I would like to talk a little bit where, excuse me, I don't know what's going on, but the virus and different things, but just take care of yourself. Uh, I'm always all over the place with conversations talking about this and that. But one of the things in particular, I think is very important that we learn how to respect one another, how to treat each other. And most important, I often tell people if you would just treat people the way you want to be treated, and if everybody did that, I think we would be in a wonderful world. And most of the time, I kind of piggyback about business in particular. When we in business for whatever reason, everybody think that they can do. Well, not everybody. I take that back. I'm sorry. In a lot of cases, we feel that can't no one do what we do. But I try to encourage everyone if you have a business mind, if you have a business that you are thinking about going into or doing or something of that sort, remember, don't nobody see that dream but you. So you're going to have to make it work. And there's no one going to do it for you. You got to get up and do what you need to do to make it happen. And you're going to run into a whole lot of stumbling blocks. It's going to be hard. But sometimes we often tell people if it's worth having, it's worth fighting for, it's worth waiting for, it's worth taking the time to do what you need to do to make it happen. And in a lot of cases, you've heard me at one point in time or the other, and I had the attitude when I first went in business that I was going to put everybody else out of business so that I could more or less have all the business myself. But that was just selfish, being selfish, and didn't really understand how important it is that we help one another. Because, if everybody felt like that, and if the Lord put us in a position that every time one of us went in business, we had the attitude like I had, putting everybody else out of business, a lot of us wouldn't have anything. And that's not what we're focusing on. We want to focus on everybody having what they need when they need and when they need to have it and be able to do what they want to do to make life better for them and their significant others, such as their husband, wives, and children and parents and what have you. And with that kind of attitude, it's not a good attitude to have because, and who was I at that point in time? I wasn't even in shape to put anybody out of business. If anything, it was more or less a possibility that I may have got put out of business my own self. And but I walked outside when I opened up the business and I looked up and down the streets and I just decided for whatever reason that I was the only one that needed to be here. But it come to pass as I began to learn and watch and begin to try and attempt to work with others. And I would go to them to get information. Wouldn't A lot of people wouldn't share information with me, and then it didn't make me feel good. So I guess that was a learning experience for me because as I would go to different ones, and a lot of them told me that I had to go through them, and it didn't make me feel good. I was figuring, well, I had license just like they did, so why wouldn't I be able to, or how come I couldn't just go and do what I needed to do? All I needed to know was where to go. But I realized that, you know, I wasn't blessed and able to go to school for business, so I really didn't even learn how to do business. The Lord blessed me and gave me a gift how to wheel and deal, buy, sell, swap, trade, barter, do what I had to do to make things work. And now I try to tell the story that we need each other. It's back to that crab syndrome. We don't want to be like the crabs in the barrel. Every time one get almost out, another one reach up there and pull him back down. And maybe it wasn't so much as they just didn't want them to get out, but they realized that maybe as close as they were, and I guess they would reach up and grab him because they was trying to get out too. So what we have to do is focus on each one reaching one, and each one teaching one, and each one helping the other. And by doing so, you'll find that we can get a whole lot further in life, in business, by working with one another, sharing information, sharing resources, and what have you. Because if I would have had the money that I needed, I probably would be way ahead now, but I wouldn't know as much as I do. I wouldn't know about working with people. So I take it that it was a learning lesson for me. Maybe it was just something that I needed to go through to teach me humility, to teach me how to be humble, how to wait on what was for me, how to take my time and build and grow, and also how to help one another. Because when I thought about it and realized that it didn't make me feel good when would nobody help me, but and I thank God that I never had that attitude, even though I wanted to put people out of business, but I never had an attitude where I didn't want to not help other people. And, you know, I always, whenever I was blessed or had some kind of connection, I would always go to my brother or my brother's business. We were my sisters and brothers as in other businesses and try to share that information with them and try to share and talk about if we could get together and do some things. My father would always tell me, John, together we stand and divided we fall. So, and if I would have had my way, I don't think I would be as blessed as I am today. Because if I'd have put everybody out of business, it wouldn't have been nobody around to even to help me, to help, or to be just to support the business and what have you. But I learned that we have to work with one another. Sometimes when you see another business and it's something that you could do to help to kind of help build and to encourage them and just to help to keep them going. Do whatever you can do. Share the information that you could share because it may come a time that you may need those persons at a later time in life. You may run across them again. And when you need them today, they may need you tomorrow, or vice versa. And it come to pass that some of the people that wouldn't help me then, later on, as I begin to become more blessed and learning a little bit more about business, not only did I learn how to do business, but I also learned how to cooperate with others, to collaborate with others, to help others, to help them do what they needed to do. And and with that attitude, together we stand and divided we fall. And there's strength in numbers, where me by myself can only do so much. But if you take two or three or four different businesses and they all come together, they have the strength to do a whole lot. They can get a lot more attention. And who's to say what may not may come to pass that if something big happened to come up, and because you have learned how to work with one another and learn how to trust one another and become trustworthy of each other, that you can get together and put your monies together and perhaps even, let's just use for an example, let's say Kroger's Sam Club, and if an opportunity just happened to come up where you needed a certain amount of money and you didn't have, but you only have so much, but with your $2 and my $2 and somebody else's $2 and a couple other people $2, it becomes from $2 to 10. And if it's hundreds, it becomes from hundreds to thousands, and which puts you in a position where you can get together. And like I say, there's strength in numbers. The group of you can do more than one of you can do. So we have to take things like that into consideration and learn how to work with one another and learn how to be able to trust one another and learn how to be trustworthy. Because unfortunately, I've had some experiences, and I'm sure that some of you have, and I've had a lot of myself, a lot of ups, a lot of downs. I made a lot of money and I lost a lot of money by trusting in people. But you can't give up on people. You have to be able to trust people, and hopefully that you run across the right person to trust and that they become trustworthy where you'll be able to do a lot more than you can do by yourself. It was unfortunate for me coming up. I tried to help a whole lot of different businesses, but it looked like when I helped them and they began to get off of their feet and got things going the way they needed it to go, where they little business could make some money. And I've always believed in turnover. I believe in that you can't just take the money that you make and spend it. You got to turn it over. You have to be able to replace. You have to pay the bills. You have to replace the stock. You have to pay them light bill, the gas bill, whatever, the license for the business itself. And you got to have inventory, because if you don't have what the people want, they're going to go somewhere else and get it. So, in working with people and trying to help them, and, not that I'm the smartest person in the world, I don't think I'm that smart at all myself, but I've been able to make a wise decision and begin to learn how to do what was good for me rather than what was good to me. And then I found and seen, and with some business people, what they would do when they would make their money, when their business started growing, they began to do what was good to them rather than what was good for them. And instead of trying to keep building the business, they began to take the money, instead of putting it back into the business and help the business to grow. They uh, began to look at vanities, things like the flashy stuff. They wanted to dress nice. They wanted to look nice. They wanted to smell nice. They wanted to drive the nice cars. All of that's fine if you can afford to do it. But you can put yourself in a position, in a predicament where you can afford to do it, because if you take care of the business first, your business will take care of you. You pay the light bills, the lights won't get turned off. You pay the gas bill, the gas will not get turned off. You pay the phone bill, you pay the mortgage for your place of business, you will not get put out. And if you, as long as you got inventory and you replacing, you building your stock, you have something to sell. I have always been an inventory man that believed that if I had something to sell, if if the people come in, it's not that I didn't have it, it's because they perhaps didn't want what I had. But sooner or later, somebody would come in and I had what they wanted, so they would buy it. It wouldn't be a situation that every time that they came, I did not have what they wanted. So by me being an inventory man, and like I say, taking care of business, I made sure my bills was paid. I made sure I had inventory, and I made sure that everything else was taken care of. And then after that, I made sure that home was taken care of, because charity begins at home and then spreads abroad. So once you take care of your business will take care of you. So hopefully today I said something to encourage you, give you something to think about. Maybe you one of them people that was want to smell good, want to look good, want to dress nice, and want nice cars, but your business is failing. So take care of your business, and your business will take care of you. Thank you for listening to John Beverly, the businessman with a conscience, here at the Alkemeline Village, where each one reach one, each one teach one brick, one building, one block at a time. And as we say, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And we show that by the things that we do and the things that we say. Have a great day.
John Beverly, the Candyman, the businessman with a conscience. John Beverly, the Candyman, the businessman with a conscience, on LICMC.net radio every Saturday at 3 p.m.